Morning everybody, welcome back to the garden. We're gonna get started on this week's garden tour. A lot has changed since the last garden tour. I'm still not able to upload the 2 tours in between. I try to do this every week and a half, depending on how much has changed. If not a lot has changed, I'll let it go a little bit longer, because who wants to watch the same video with nothing has changed. But we do have lots of changes going on this week, as you'll see. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to keep, I say this every week, I'm going to try to keep it short. It is what it is. Anyway, so we have taken all of our potatoes out. All the way down. We probably could have let them go just a little bit longer, but they were kind of starting to look kind of punky, the plants were. And I just don't want to take the chance because I do have tomatoes right next to them, and a lot of times the tomatoes and potatoes, they're from the same family, so they share a lot of the same diseases. So, and we got a decent amount, so we're okay with it. Next year I think we're gonna change our location with them, because we did notice that the end beds down there, and we're gonna go through and re-level all this obviously, but the end beds down there stayed really wet. Now I know we've had a lot more rain this year than what we normally do, but they were still pretty wet under there. We didn't have any molding or no rotting or anything of the potatoes, so that was good. And in fact, the strangest thing happened that I've never seen before for me with doing potatoes is the seed potatoes actually grew. Like we started, like medium-sized potatoes you put in there, and they were like huge potatoes. I was amazed, but so anyway, so that's the plan for next year. We're probably gonna put them out into one of the other beds out here. When we first started our garden here, we had our potatoes on one of the outside beds of the then garden, which was much smaller than this one, and they did really well there. So we had Yukon Gold and Kennebec Whites this year, and then we had a variety pack. We had some Austrian Crescents, some Adirondack, I think they're blues, I can't remember, I always want to call them Adirondack blue, the purple potato. And we had some German Butterball, and I think that was it. Those didn't do so well for us. The Yukon Golds and the Kennebec Whites rocked, so we will definitely be sticking with those. We usually do Yukon Golds every year, but that's the first time doing the Kennebec Whites and the rest of them. So it's, they might work great in your area. In our area, they just didn't get very big at all. So, but it's fine. We got enough out of them. We can use them. So anyway, so this little batch of green beans, we just literally picked these last night before bed, and look how big these beans are already. They were like the size of this one last night. So between this small patch, I'm trying not to get you dizzy guys, and this bed over here, I waited till the trash man left this week. Apparently he didn't leave. He's coming back. He just likes to photobomb me, or sound bomb, because you don't ever see him. So, but like I was saying, between those 2 beds, I've gotten 4 gallons of green beans so far. And yesterday I got a gallon between the 2 beds. The 3 gallons I got before that I processed on Thursday and got 18 points out of that. So we're rocking the beans this year. So this is new, and yes, I'm still watching for snakes, guys. This is new since last week. We had that volunteer squash plant, and it turned out to be a pumpkin plant. See little pumpkin babies? So we went and got, and I think I mentioned it in the video, that we were going to figure out some way to arch it. So we just went and got another cattle panel and arched it there, so that trellised it there, I should say. And as you can see, this little feller doesn't want to follow the rules. He's a rebel from the beginning. See if I can do this one-handed without dropping the camera or breaking the pumpkin. Oh my goodness, I'm not tall enough, which is, I think, the first time I've ever said that about anything. Alright, there, he's up there now. I've asked this before in my videos too. Am I the only one that calls their plants he or she? I don't know. So, and you can see it's massive. It's, this is so, look at this, the size of these flowers. It's just rocking. There's multiple pumpkins on here already. And so, I don't know if you can see that one. I mean, it's going all the way over to the other side already. I did not plant anything down here on this side intentionally. So we did have to move a couple of the jalapenos because they were in here and they just got overshadowed. So we moved them over here. They're looking a little bit puny, but not too bad. This is just DE because we have a lot of ant issues. So I just sprinkled DE. It's food grade DE. It won't hurt anything. And so I've heard that it's supposed to kill the ants. So that's what I'm trying. Because I don't like to use the chemicals. We don't use the chemicals. We just deal with the ants. Which can be a pain in the butt when you're out here trying to harvest and you keep getting bit. The Amish paste tomatoes are just going to town. I mean, we have like just bunches and bunches. And we have some pollinators. I don't know if you can see. Where'd he go? Chase the bee around. Some pollinators. But these are all looking good. This is a rogue bean plant in here. We're gonna see. I think he's like trying to make his way to that trellis. And we're talking last night. Well, we'll just let him go. If he gets there, he gets there. But yeah, lots and lots of tomatoes. Oops, if I can actually show them. And I've come out and I did tie some up last night, but I need to tie some more up here. It looks like. But, I mean, they're just massive. If you can see the ones on the other side over there, even. So, fingers crossed, it's a good season for these guys. I haven't noticed any pests on them, but I did have an odd thing the other day, and I didn't think to take a picture of it. I just kind of cleaned it off. On one of the plants down at the end, on the blossom, like right on the green parts of it here, there's actually clusters of eggs on it. On the actual blossom, and I've never seen that. Like, I've seen them on the leaves and stuff before, but like when I look at the leaves on here, there's nothing. There's no insects on them. There's no insect damage, and I checked them because, you know, the hornworms and stuff, and it is what it is. But like, it was just the oddest thing, and it's the only one I've seen it on. I looked at all the other blossoms that were out at that time. The sun's gonna come out now. It was overcast earlier, but and I looked at all the other blossoms, and that's the only one I've seen that on. Yellow wax beans are looking really good. These are the super sweets, super sweet 100s, I think is what they are. Cherry tomatoes, and those will be blossomed. Those will be. Oh, I see a June bug. Japanese beetles are here. I just saw 2 of them mating. So it begins. We're gonna get back to this. These tomato plants, I'm gonna kind of do like the tomahawk system, where I'm gonna attach them to this with string, let them climb up that way. My version of the tomahawk version, anyway. And it looks like I had a fasciated blossom here, because these are Amish paste tomatoes, but that certainly does not have the same shape as the rest of the Amish paste. So we'll see what happens with it. Those are heirloom seeds and that, so that it doesn't surprise me it happens with them. So the rutabagas are like just ramped up down through here. I do have this. If anybody knows what causes this on a couple of these plants, could you let me know? Like, I've never seen that on my rutabagas, so I'm not sure. Like, I don't, yeah, they're getting chewed on a little bit, but not like, I mean, you got new growth right here, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But these Amish pastes are rocking here too. This one looks like it might be going to blush here soon, but look at the size of these. Look at the size of those. That's one right there. I'm super happy right now with those Amish paste. Fingers crossed that they all just hold on. We harvested 6. Whoop, being attacked by something buzzing. We harvested 6 of the cabbages here. these guys. So we opened it up so this is a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, so that he can get some pollinators because he's starting to get some blossoms. So, but these guys are still growing. These cauliflower, I think that they're pretty much done. That one's okay. I might come and harvest that one, but I think these ones are pretty much. The heat's here. It's 91 yesterday, 91 today, but the heat index is just huge. So that's going to slow them down. So our zucchini has a baby zucchini. It won't be long. A couple days and this one will be ready to harvest. I'm going to come in and I'm going to prune some of these bottom leaves off for ventilation underneath the blossoms, underneath the fruit. And we have another little baby one right there. So that's exciting. I have kind of spread my squash out this year just to give them a better chance with the squash, the vine borers and the squash bugs. We'll see. Like, I'm going to show you from this side. Look, I'm so excited, you guys, to see the tomatillos. Like, this plant has like 6 of them. Last night it had 4. Now it's got like 6. That's exciting. They're all looking really well. So there's, oh, look at this, how big these ones are. Look at those. Those are just, when we walk around the other side, I'll show you compared to my hand. They're huge. Tomatoes are looking, these are, oh, maybe these are the super sweets. I don't remember because I bought some. I didn't, these ones, oh, sun gold. Those ones are started. Already the artichoke is, yeah, he's got a couple dead branches, but I think it's okay. We'll just see what he does. Pepper plants are starting to take off here. Jalapenos. These marigolds just amaze me. Any of the white powder stuff you see is just the DE. The celery's doing pretty decently. This one's smaller, but those are getting a little bit bigger. There's a volunteer tomato plant over here. It's going to need to be, it's got blossoms on it. Now the dogs are going to go after the garbage man. This squash that was in here that we're not sure what it is, we just kind of trellised it up here also. They can share a trellis because that was a volunteer also. Brussels sprouts are starting to get eaten on a little bit, so I'm going to come out and probably Wednesday, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, throw some BT on them and look for the little interlopers. We get the cabbage moth worms and the caterpillars, and that pretty bad here. That one bed that I've been harvesting from for the green beans, and I just picked these down last night, and you can see there's already some decent sized ones in here. The next harvest, I had to move out of the sun for a minute. It's like, it was overcast, so I'm like, okay, I'll go out now. I come out and the sun comes out. Whew, guys. Anyway, I'd rather have this freezing cold, but, or a happy medium, how's that? Those beans that I just showed you, when this next harvest, I'll probably just pull them and harvest what's on there. Because this, I think I've harvested 4 times from them now, so they're pretty much at their peak. So and I have more growing. Obviously I have more on the, or not obviously, but I have more on, you know, the Kentucky Wonder pole beans. These are starting to kick in now. You can see lots of pollinators too. Just trying to see. This one doesn't have, oh yeah, it's got baby beans. Can you see that? Let's see. Oh, I just knocked the blossom off. I don't know if you can see that baby bean in the shadow, but there's a baby bean there. Still getting used to this camera, guys. It does not have the autofocus like I would like it to have. It's like, takes forever, it feels like. But anyway, so getting some baby beans on this trellis. Look at this dill. This is a volunteer dill from last year. I think I'm just going to have to tie him up here later today. That'll be on my list of things to do. My list of many things to do. We are starting to harvest onions. They're looking pretty good. These are the Walla Wallas anyway. The other ones aren't quite like getting to that point yet, but the Walla Wallas are starting to be ready to harvest. Planted a couple patty pan squash in here. Yes, there are weeds. They weren't there when I planted them. It rained night before last. They're back. This is my jungle. This is my jungle. This is my volunteer. Oops, let me move my hand out of the way. My volunteer trellis. Got volunteer tomato plants in here. I'm thinking these are Roma tomatoes, but I'm not positive because I had a couple different kinds last year. Doing fairly well, so I'm gonna leave them. This look at how big this tomatillo is. This is the one I wanted to show you. Look at how huge that is. This is the Rio Grande. It's living up to its name. Most of the blossoms on those plants are huge. Most of the husks on those plants are huge like that. So it's gonna be exciting. More volunteer tomatoes. Again, not sure what kind. Not sure what kind this beast is. I'm having a debate whether I'm going to come in and trim them up or just let them go and see what they do. Because sometimes I just like to do that because you never know. All of these, look at these beans. Isn't that pretty? Like, this is the purple potted pole bean. So they're turning purple. These guys were not here yet last night. Like, Brett and I do a garden tour every night. Almost every night, I guess. It depends on the weather and how busy the evening is, but typically we do one. And last night we did one, and they weren't there. So lots of blossoms coming out still. This jack-o'-lantern's looking really good. It's got a blossom on there. Hopefully we'll get like 2 jack-o'-lanterns out of them. That's my goal. Between this one and the other little one and the other bed over there. It's just so that they can have something for Halloween. Corn is looking really good. In the back row is the sunflowers. Look, I mean, they have shot up. These sunflowers have just shot up. It's amazing. Now you can see everything is leaning. This area gets more shade. So, lesson learned. It's not a big deal. Next year we'll put on the outer beds. The center bed here and that bed seems to do very well. This outer bed gets, gets shade first. It gets shade the last in the morning, and then the afternoon it gets the first shade. So we'll just go through and I'll put like brassicas over here and stuff. It's not a big deal. You adapt. So these are our lemon squash. They're hanging in there, and Dixie Hybrid's got some blossoms. Golden crookneck, or golden summer, sorry, yeah, it's crookneck. And then this is the Ford Hook zucchini. It's got some blossoms in there. No babies yet, there's some blossoms, but it just started blossoming. So this lemon boy is rocking. It's starting to blush. You see how it's getting light down there? So when we all watch, everybody's like, when is the lemon boy gonna turn? These guys are all starting to kick up, like take off, I should say. I was concerned because of their location, but these guys are all looking really good. All set in fruit. These last 3 are struggling a little bit, but they're kind of hanging in there. They're kind of catching on. We'll have a late fall crop from them. Who knows? So this is new. This is temporary. In the last video, I told you we're going to address the grapevine issue over here. Ooh, it's just temporary. Just to keep it out of the pathway so we can walk through, and to keep them off of the strawberries. So, farm tractor. This fall, this whole area, this whole fruit area is going to get a makeover. So I think we're going to look at getting a couple green stalks and all the strawberries in there to open this up a little bit more, to give us more room, and an arch, and a better arch for the grapes. There are a lot of clusters on there, if you can see. Oop, there's a leaf in the way. So hopefully we'll get some off of there. Those are 2-year. Yeah, they're all 2-year vines, so hopefully this year we'll get something. Lots of blackberry. So they're starting out. Nothing has turned on these guys yet. These are thornless blackberries. Look how huge, guys. I don't know if I can get it all in. How huge that is. Raspberries are starting to turn. So this year, like I said again, this fall, look at the little, look at, this is my pest that I have. She likes to eat the rest. Shelby, that is not for you. Don't you eat my raspberries before I get them. See, look at her. You'd think we don't feed them. I promise you we do. We have lots of, the shadow, the light, lots of radishes coming up between these tomatoes, and like back there, the kohlrabi's looking good, and the parsnips are, they're not huge yet, but it's okay because it takes a while for them to get going. These peppers are finally starting to kick in. I did come out and took all of the fruits off of the smaller ones, except for that one. I just kind of wanted, I have like 4 or 5 other ones. Kind of wanted to see what that one would do with one on it already. So look, this is one of the Bella Rosas. This is the same tomato, started the same time, planted out the same time as all of those. Look how much bigger it is. Like, see if I can get out of the light. It's just out of, see if I can get out of the sun so it's not a shadow on it. Look how huge it is. Now this one is smaller, but has fruit already. We'll see. This is my legit sugar pie pumpkin that I started and planted here. So it's looking really good, starting to trellis up. Candyland tomatoes. All the peppers are looking really good. This is Brett's favorite. He's the most excited about this plant, as are the girls too. All of the cucumbers are looking really good too. And my coneflower, my purple coneflower, that's a perennial, and so that'll be here forever. Well, until, hopefully it'll be here forever, I should say. Harry the horseradish is starting to get some new growth. There's new growth down there. I gave up on these radishes, but they have very beautiful flowers for the pollinators, so I'm okay with that. Cherokee Trail of Tears beans are looking really good. They're starting to look better, I should say. They were kind of rough for a little while. And I have some purple top turnips back there that are, these, my hair is like stuck to my forehead. It's so hot out here, you guys. Like, I seriously feel like I'm melting, which it would be nice if I melted some of the fat. But I feel like my makeup and everything is melting. These are the Candyland tomatoes that I propagated, or that I saved seed from last year. So they're looking really good. And I can't remember if it's this plant. I don't remember if it's this plant. One of the plants that I started the seed from last year actually has some Candyland tomatoes on it, so looks promising that they're going to hold true from last year's. So this is that crazy tomato plant again. It's got lots of blossoms on it. I think it might be aroma. Don't know for sure. This Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce took off. I'm going to come out and harvest some of it. I've decided that the stuff I have up on the deck I'm going to let go to seed. Look at these beautiful, can you see these beautiful, and the dog photobombing back there. Scarlet runner beans all down this fence. Look at these blossoms. Beautiful, beautiful. And this is exactly what I wanted from those. I wanted them to kind of be a backdrop for this flower bed that we put in. Did you see that? Look at that. No, bad beetle, bad beetle. I will sacrifice a fern. Dang it. Time to get the traps out for them. We use the traps from Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, wherever you get them. Those I found work the best. So that's probably the only chemical type thing that we use. These are more of the Candyland tomatoes that I started from seed. The last two. Oh yes, it's this one. See them? They have the babies on them. So those look exactly like the ones that we bought from the store. The only difference may be that these may not have quite as many of them, and we'll have to wait and see once they grow up. And you guys, I apologize for my, this is a hot mess. It's hot out here. And I mean, it's been like this since 5:30 this morning. There's a breeze, but it's, when it doesn't blow, it's like, holy cow, you know. So I try my best to not look like ragged, but it is what it is. And it's not what you guys are here for, right? My beauty contest, you're here, hopefully, to join us on our tour as we grow what we can grow in our backyard. Like I said earlier in the video, that small bed of green beans over there, well, the 2 small beds of green beans over there, netted me 3 gallons. Well, it's 4 gallons so far, but just yesterday we got the 4th gallon, so it's 4 gallons total. But when I harvested 3 gallons from them and processed them on Tuesday and got 18 plants. So it's not too shabby for that little space. So that just goes to show that you don't have to have a huge farm, huge acreage to provide for yourself. And we have plenty more space. You know, if you go vertical like we have with the arches and that, it gives you even more space. And like these pole beans, once they kick in, they'll be going through fall actually. Last year they were it was probably October, the end of October, before we stopped getting beans. Oh, try not to knock the camera over. It was probably the end of October before we stopped getting beans, and that was only because I got tired of coming out and picking them, I'll be honest with you. So hopefully these guys hang on as long, or close to as long, and I think that they will. I think they'll be fine. And the fire siren's going off. At least so far we don't have the planes yet. I'm almost done with this video though, so fingers crossed. So anyway, guys, I am going to do a separate video on the green stalks I have up on the deck, because I just think it'd be too long to add it to this already long garden tour. I try to shorten these up. I'm trying to do my best, guys. I'm still learning the video thing, and coming out of my shell, so to speak, to get on camera. That's been a big step for me. I've always been concerned about what people think of me, and I've got to that stage of my life where I'm not going to let that hinder me anymore. So I'm glad that you guys can join us. I hope that you continue to join us on our journey. I will do a video, as I said, on the container gardens, because I don't have just green stalks. I have other things up there too. Probably later this week. My schedule's kind of busy. I have some editing and stuff I need to get done. Not video editing. I have to do this editing too, but like I have some work editing to get done for manuscripts. So I need to get that done, and I will hopefully get out here and get a video of that probably later. Like I said, it might not be up until this weekend. It's on the schedule though. I have it written down. I have to write things down. So anyway, I hope that you will continue to join us, like I said earlier. I appreciate you guys being here and the support that you guys have given. If you're not already following us on Facebook and Instagram, it's Cover's Corner Suburban Homestead. It's spelled C-O-V-E-R, just like Cover, just like the YouTube channel. It's just pronounced differently. I hope you'll join us there. I do post a lot of pictures daily of like what I've harvested, the things I found in the garden and stuff like that there. So if you know, I'd love it if you could join us there. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you get notified when I upload more videos. I am going to try to be working more of them into, I'm going to stop using the word trying. I'm going to be working more of them into my schedule. So if there's any that you would like to see, any types of videos, I'll do, just drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to video those. They have to be legit. They can't be no weird things. Homesteading, suburban. We don't have chickens. We don't have livestock. We have dogs. So, but gardening, cooking, stuff inside the house. Anything like that. Like, I'm more than willing to do my best to get videos out for you guys. So, and the The one thing that you can do that will help our channel the greatest is if you share this video with your friends on your social media, anybody you think might be interested in this type of lifestyle that we're trying to create here. So I will see you on the next video. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.